Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing Dharma on Netflix. Netflix retell in detail the life and crimes of notorious serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. But before we go any further, could you please be a dear? Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really does make all the difference to this channel and we thank you if you do. So let's get into what I liked about Dharma. I thought this was a fascinating watch. It is an exploitive and indulgent show, but at the same time I kind of feel it's necessary. Because hearing a story and leaving it to your imagination is all well and good, but realistically, at least in my own experience, we never actually play it out in our imagination. We don't ever feel the need to. We just sort of go, oh, no, gross, disgusting, nasty stuff. We don't need to go there. We get the picture. But in doing so, you're actually cutting it so short as to just how dark, twisted, and traumatizing these events really were. And I felt that here. I felt the trauma. I felt sorry for the victims. I felt uncomfortable. I could easily understand how people had found themselves in these situations, and it only worsened seeing what becomes of them and what Dharma does to them. It's very heavy-handed, but strangely I think it needed to be. I also thought they did a really good job of profiling Jeffrey Dahmer, the four walls that hold him up as a human being. You've got the total and utter social ineptability, the deep suppression of his true sexuality, growing up alone in a broken marriage with very little care and attention given to him, and all of his happy memories as a child being things such as fishing, gutting fishes, and doing dioramas in science, of which he was always praised for and encouraged to do. You put those ingredients into a blender, and you get Jeffrey Dahmer. And I thought that was really clever and well done. It trimmed all of the fat. It never gave him an excuse. It just explained how he's become this monster. And I appreciated that they didn't connect the dots for me, but they made it a very simple enough pattern where I could connect the dots myself. And we have to talk about Evan Peters. I'll hold my hands up. I've never really given this guy my full attention. I've always liked him. I've always thought he's solid enough. But I've never thought he was a leading man. I've always seen him as the comical side character. Well, I have to eat those words now because he is absolutely outstanding here. He is exceptionally committed to this role and performance. He portrays these wild range of emotions and also seemingly such a lack of emotions at the same time. But he does it as easily as a puppeteer pulling strings. It's quite freaky to watch, but endlessly impressive and a real knockout performance for the guy. He's absolutely gained my respect and he's definitely gone up in my own personal ranking. And while we're discussing performances, I also want to give some love to Niecy, Nash and Richard Jenkins. They were also outstanding here. I also thought this show deserves a lot of credit for highlighting the piss poor police work from start to finish when it comes to Dharma. I'm not trying to be political, but learn from this, please. It will boil your blood when you discover just how much this was all known and the police were aware of this guy and they just sort of didn't really care. It needed to be noted and it needed to be highlighted to hopefully show just how far we've come and how much more we can still improve. I'm really grateful that the show didn't omit that. But I do have some cons for the show. And it goes back to what I first said. The indulgence and exploitation is indeed a double-edged sword, and it should be equally mentioned as a con just as much as it is a positive, because it really does boil down to whether or not you're okay with that. If you don't want to see grotesque violence and pretty messed up stuff, then, you know, maybe not for you. But if you personally feel like you need that gut punch, then yes, this really does get into the belly of the beast. I also don't think this show needed to be 10 episodes long, being an hour long an episode. I honestly think this could have been done in 6 or 7 episodes, which is strange because I wouldn't say there's necessarily filler in this show, but towards the last few episodes, the pacing and the storytelling felt jumbled and rushed and frankly a bit messy. So I'm going to give Dharma an 8 out of 10. I personally really enjoyed this and found it very binge-worthy. I thought it did a great job of understanding what makes Dharma tick, with an excellent performance from Evan Peters. I like that it pushed the boundaries and went to those darker corners. Ultimately, I think this is a step in the right direction for Netflix. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen Dharma? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.